friends, my pleasant and humble wishes. The first topic, Biden-Putin hold Great Power Summit. US President Joe Biden, Russian President Vladimir Putin concluded the summit meeting on Wednesday between what the American leader called great powers, wrapping up more quickly than expected. The past second sit down with side present on both sides lasted about 65 minutes. That session was to be divided into two parts with a break in between, but concluded without a second part. The two sides have said they expected to meet for 4 to 5 hours, but spent less than 3 hours together, including an open meeting with just the two presidents and each one stopped for an aid. In a press conference held after summit, Mr. Putin said they have agreed to return their ambassador to their post in a bid to lower tension. Russian ambassador to the US, Anatol, was called for Washington about 3 months ago after Biden describes Mr. Putin as a killer. US Ambassador to Russia, John Sullivan, left Moscow almost 2 months after Russia suggested he return to Washington for consultants. As the two leaders appeared briefly before media at the start of meeting, Mr. Biden called it a discussion between two great powers and said it was always better to meet face to face. The meeting in a book-lined room had a somewhat awkward beginning. Both men appeared to avoid looking directly at each other during a brief and chaotic photo opportunity before a scrum of jostling reporters. Next topic is India to launch Deep Ocean Mission. The Union Cabinet has approved the long-pending Deep Ocean Mission, which among other things involved developing a submersible vehicle that will allow a crew to plunge 6,000 meters into the ocean and hunt the floor for precious metals. If this works, India would be among a handful of countries able to launch an underwater mission at such depths. In the work since 2018, the mission is expected to cost Rs 4,077 crore over the next 5 years. The estimated cost for the first phase of 3 years, 2021 to 24, would be 2,823.4 crore. The Ministry of Earth Science will be the nodal ministry implementing this multi-institutional mission. There are 6 components to the program. A manned submersible will be developed to carry 3 people to the depth of 6,000 meters in the ocean with a suite of scientific sensors and tools. An integrated mining system will also develop for mining polymetallic nodules at those depths in the central Indian Ocean. The exploration studies of minerals will pave way for commercial exploitation in the near future, as and when commercial exploitation code is evolved by the International Seabed Authority and United Nations Organization, says the accompanying press note. The next topic, ONGC seek green nod for exploratory wells in Tamil Nadu. The Oil and Natural Gas Corporation has sought environmental clearance for drilling exploratory wells at 15 places in Tamil Nadu, including 10 in Ariyalur district and 5 in Kadalur district. ONGC Kaveri Basin Chennai has submitted 2 proposals along with document to State Environment Impact Assessment Authority of Tamil Nadu Department of Environment for obtaining mandatory environmental clearance. While the ONGC submitted the proposal for Ariyalur district on Tuesday, it filed the Kadalur proposal on Wednesday. Executive summaries of the project's top sheets, pre-feasibility reports and maps of the proposed exploratory wells were among the documents submitted with Form I, a formal application for environmental clearance. Move has evoked strong opposition from environmental activities and farmers. G. Sundararajan of Poovelagin Nanbargal said it was yet another attempt by ONGC to expand its activity against the interest of farmers, who were waging a battle against the exploration of hydrocarbon and other kind of activities in Delta and neighborhood districts. The move would be detrimental to nature and farming, he said. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin recently wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging him to cancel the center invitation for bids to extract hydrocarbon in Pudukkottai district. But without taking account of Chief Minister's opposition, the project ONGC submitted a proposal on June 15 and another one on June 16 to SEIAA. It shows as ONGC has pushed ahead with its plan in spite of state government's stand on issue. The state government should summarily reject the proposal to protect the environment and the interest of farmers, Mr. Sundararajan said. Next topic, High Court cannot tell probe agency to arrest accused, Supreme Court. High Court cannot decide when the investigative agency should arrest an accused. The Supreme Court said it an order, adding that it is entirely the call of probe officers. A bench of Justice Hermanth Gupta and V. Ramasubramaniam said it was beyond the jurisdiction of High Court to direct the police to take someone into custody. It is for the investigative agency to whom the investigation has been entrusted to call as to when the petition is to be arrested, the Supreme Court noted. OFB corporatization gets cabinet approval. Addressing long-pending reform, the Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved a plan to corporatize the Ordnance Factory Board, which has 41 factories, into 7 fully government-owned corporate entities on the lines of Defence Public Sector Undertaking (DPSU). Once implemented, the OFB, the establishment of which was accepted by the British in 1775, will cease to exist. This is a historic decision, and there should be no concern on the part of the employees. There will be no change in service condition, which is also mentioned in the cabinet note. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said, assuring that 70,000 employees who had expressed concern over the proposed move failed to comply with IT rules, deliberately chose a path of non-compliances. IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad on June 16 said Twitter failed to comply with intermediary guidelines and has deliberately chosen the path of non-compliance despite being granted multiple opportunities. Lashing out the microblogging platform over non-compliance, Mr. Prasad said that it is astounding that Twitter, that portrays itself as flag bearer of free speech, chooses the path of deliberate defiance when it comes to intermediary guidelines. Apple Daily editor arrested under Hong Kong security law. Hong Kong police on Thursday morning arrested the chief editor and 4 other senior executives of pro-democracy Apple Daily newspaper under the national security law and were searching its office, media reported. Apple Daily is known for its strong pro-democracy stance and often criticizes and condemns the Chinese and Hong Kong government for tightening control over the city. The arrest and police search are the last moves by Hong Kong authorities in a crackdown on dissent in the semi-autonomous Chinese city following a month of anti-government protest in 2019. Apple's Daily chief editor Ryan Law, Next Digital CEO Chong Kim Hung, the publisher of chief operating officer, and 2 other editors were arrested, according to Apple Daily, the South China Morning Post, and other local media. The government said security police have arrested 5 directors of company for suspected contraventions of national security law. The 4 men and 1 woman aged 47 and 63 were arrested on suspicion of collusion with foreign country or with external elements to endanger national security, according to the statement, which did not name those arrested.
Hope this video is very useful. I would like to say that our academy WAR, Win and Rule, is coaching students in various exams like NEET, TNPSC, UPSCs, as well as we are tutoring students from class 6 to 12 in all subjects. One-to-one student coaching is also available at students' preferable timing. For further detail, refer the description.